All right. So this is similar to what we've seen already in S-Corps. This is something, so when we dealt with the AAA account, this is something similar to what we saw in C-Corps, but here it is dealing with an S-Corp that originally was a C-Corp, harkening back to what we saw when it dealt with, okay, do we have any basis in the investment? Do they have any retained earnings left? Accumulated earnings and profits? Is this going to be taxed as a dividend? Is this taxed as a return of capital, in which case it wouldn't be taxed? Or is this taxed as a capital gain distribution? So these are distributions from the entity to the shareholders. Now, the treatment of distributions to S-Corp shareholders depends on various factors, such as the stock basis, accumulated adjustments account, and the accumulated earnings and profits. Again, this is kind of like the example prior in those C-Corp lessons, filling up the buckets. What is the classification of profits? So S-Corp with no C-Corp earnings and profits. So this is just a pure S-Corp. This S-Corp simply is not going to have double taxation because it filed to be a C-Corp and then immediately that same day elected to be an S-Corp. So in this case, to the extent of stock basis, we're only getting taxed once. So if you are receiving any sort of distributions that take down your stock basis, that's going to be a return of capital. And if you've got no stock basis left, let's say you've got zero stock basis, then you get a $2,000 distribution. That is going to be taxed as a capital gain distribution, which is subject to long-term capital gain tax. However, if you were a C-Corp, let's say for a year, and then you became an S-Corp, that is different. How is that treatment? So let's think about your basis. How is the taxability of these distributions going to play out? Well, to the extent of the S-Corp's AAA account, first off, you're going to take away from the AAA account, and then you're going to try to reduce that to zero. Then you're going to reduce the E&P to zero. Then you're going to reduce the stock basis to zero. And then anything in excess of that, fill in the buckets, right? Fill up the bucket here, fill up the bucket here, here. And then this is just the waterfall afterward. So any amount to the extent of the AAA, it's not taxed. This is coming from the S-Corp profits. So this is not taxed. It's just a distribution. Now, it's a C-Corp earnings and profits. You got to pay double tax on that. Unfortunately, you cannot elect to become an S-Corp and just avoid all your tax responsibilities from when you were a C-Corp. So here, this is going to be a taxable dividend distribution. This very much ties into what we saw with C-Corps again, just drilling that down. And then to the extent of your stock basis, if you get $10,000 of stock basis left, that's a return of capital. You're not going to get taxed on the amount that you originally contributed. And then let's say you've got zero basis in this entity. If they're just giving you free money, not free money, I mean, hopefully you're working for it, you've invested for it. Anything in excess will be a long-term capital gain.
Hey there! Are you ready to not only pass your CPA exams, but truly understand and enjoy the material while studying? I know it seems impossible, right? Especially to enjoy the material? We'll do it together. Tap into the power of CPA.examprep.ai, where we've got personalized quizzes, multiple choice questions, memorization guides, flashcards, simulations, all tailored to your learning. Our adaptive study planning puts you on the fastest path to success and lifts you back up if you fall behind. Avoid wasting your precious time and money attempting an exam with a low chance of passing, because who wants that? We want to get you through this process as quick as possible. Our exam readiness prediction lets you walk in with confidence, knowing that you're prepared for success on exam day. Thankfully, there's no payment method needed to get started, so why don't you come join us? Visit cpa.examprep.ai and let's achieve your exam success together.